Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Fight, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut 3, and hopefully you like this video. And hit that subscribe button. So, obviously, ESPN is having a bit of a feud, and now one of the combatants is kind of, putting cold water on it. If it's a feud, if Michael K. and Michael Not Okay is not okay with the situation, this will continue no matter what Peter Rosenberg says. This is from Bad Media. I did a video on them and this little spat, this little cat fight. And that's what it is, a little cat fight. Very catty. It really is. Headline from Bad Media. Peter Rosenberg mocks coverage of potential beef with Michael K. on ESPN New York. With all due respect, they got a lot of interest to fill. Okay, you guys are bored today. I'm not bored. I love making fun of you guys. It is one of my favorite pastimes. ESPN New York host Peter Rosenberg pushed back Thursday against online headlines suggesting tension with fellow former co-host Michael Not Okay, using humor to lampoon the media's appetite for conflict. Now, Michael K. said that Peter Rosenberg was dead to him. Okay. On Thursday's episode of Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, the program mocked the coverage of the potential discourse, knowing that outlets appeared eager to fill space. So I'm eager to fill hours here and subscribers, and we had a couple of subscribers on the last video, so hit the subscribe button. And people can say, why are you doing these videos? They're more successful than you. Why would I do a video on people that aren't successful? Come on. Come on. With all, let's be honest. And since nobody talks about the media and does videos on the media, this is fertile ground, okay? And I have to sort of keep a backup, again, in case we have a lockout in Major League Baseball. But with all due respect, they got a lot of interest to fill. Okay, you guys, we're bored today, Rosenberg said. The remarks followed speculation stemming from Rosenberg's recent praise of WWE commentator Joe Testore on his Cheap Heat Wrestling podcast. Rosenberg called Testore constantly flawless and the best point guard that I've ever worked with, prompting Not Okay, who previously co-hosted with Rosenberg on ESPN New York, to vent frustration in a text message Rosenberg later described as saying, quote, "You're dead to me." So they want the little back and forth, but I guess they kind of got a little pushback from their boss. This is probably to cool it. According to co-host Don LaGreca, the disagreement was less about personal animosity than a perceived slight over Rosenberg's compliment. Quote, "He's mad at Peter because Peter doesn't think he's the best at something. He didn't disrespect him," LaGreca said. "You didn't make him the best. That's ridiculous." Rather than escalating, Rosenberg framed the episode's discussion as a lesson in current media dynamics. Quote, "If our crack staff here at ESPN New York and our radio station were worth the paper they were made on, they'd be taking this article running right to the New York Post," he joked. "It's nothing better than show beef then because it's all within the station. You're not sending anyone anywhere else. You're keeping it all right here." No, I get it. You're helping us out by doing this. But when I do the videos, people want to watch, which I appreciate. Rosenberg's tongue-in-cheek take underscores a familiarity in sports media. Personality-driven narratives often get amplified online, sometimes independent of any potential workplace friction. The program took the next couple of minutes to create other potential beef-filled headlines to draw attention to outlets online. Not Okay, who moved to another time slot in 2025 to balance his role as the voice of the Yankees for Yes Network, previously lamented that his off-air relationship with Rosenberg had cooled since their professional split-up. Rosenberg, however, continued to emphasize a mix of respect and humor toward his former colleague, describing him as the bride at every wedding and the corpse at every funeral. Everything has to be about Michael. That's right. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that. I mean, he loves conflict. He loves this guy. He enjoys it. He's from the streets, man. Michael Not Okay. And if you say anything negative about him, he flips out. Even slightly. Funny story, about a year ago, there was a ad on the radio show about SNY and how Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez, and Ron Darling were the best broadcasts in New York. And right after they came back from the break, Michael Kay had a meltdown. Meltdown so badly that Yeho's Mahani mocked him on the Baseball Head 2. And he said that David Cohen and Paul O'Neill and myself, we're the best. And it was so funny and so amusing that SNY mocked him. Gary, Keith, and Ron actually mocked him before they started the game, which was fun because they are the best. And to see the meltdown from Kay over something, it's just a commercial, dude. You're trying to make money on your program. Got to pay the bills. I don't have music for Michael Not Okay. But he's just not okay. It's just there's some issues here. Very insecure. He's never going in the Hall of Fame as a broadcaster, I don't think. He may go in the Yankees Hall of Fame as a broadcaster. They got so many people in there. So many people in the Hall of Fame out there. Out in the Monument Park. There'll be another one out there. I think that's probably the frustration. Plus the frustration of having been around and behind the terrible John Sterling. Another guy who's never getting in the Hall of Fame, by the way. But you let me know what you think about this video. And, of course, if you like this kind of stuff on ESPN, I'll do more stuff on them there. They're not nearly as fertile and not nearly as amusing as WFAN is. Because really just one guy is just being angry all the time. So the one thing I would mention, that the one impression I always had about the show that they had with Michael Not Okay and Don LaGreca and Peter Rosenberg is that they all hated him. He hated them and they hated him. Very, very much equal parts venom, equal parts hatred. And it's wonderful to watch it, believe it or not. For your host it is. Well, thank you for watching this video, and of course, please subscribe to Baseball Head 3, and I'll see you later.